and welcome to episode 23 of It's Beer O'Clock with Beerski and very special guest, Mason Cardinal Gaming. How are we doing today, Mason?
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on, Beerski. This is awesome.
Absolutely, man. I'm super pumped to have you on here. There was a bit of a mishap a couple weeks ago. Mason was supposed to come on right after Collecticon, New Jersey. I messed up a little bit, so that's why that week I missed. So we rescheduled. We're back here. Mason's just shaking his head. We're all good.
We're good. It's not even a big deal.
Yeah. So we're moving forward. Super happy to have him on. Glad we rescheduled. Yeah, man. How's everything going with you? How's everything day to day in the Pokemon hobby for you going right now?
Man, some super heavy FOMO going on in my life with all these Collecticons. Back-to-back weekends almost. With Jersey and then Charlotte and then Richmond's right around the corner too, and then
Gen Con.
Gen Con is I'm in Louisville, and it's 2.5 hour drive up to Indy. I could have been there for a day, but 75,000 people at Gen Con. 75,000. It's crazy.
It's wild to think about that kind of number. I was talking to Chef about it, and he was just crazy. He said it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just in the hallways, you're shoulder to shoulder, just all day long.
Yeah,
crazy.
Absolutely, have to be.
Yeah, so just got all kinds of FOMO with that. And I had old school Nick and Walrus actually drove the 2.5 hours down and came to the shop.
I saw that. That's Monday, fantastic.
Which is like, didn't have to do that. That's crazy. So
I think Walrus said he was going to Mecca, so that was awesome.
Had to give him the tour, show him the Volk Mountain and all that. So that's fun and exciting. And then I had Northwoods. Northwoods was on its way to Charlotte, passed through Louisville, and stopped and saw me. I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday last week. So all kinds of great pillars and people come down to my shop.
That's fantastic.
So, been exciting otherwise, but missing going to all these shows. So I got my share of people though. I got my couple meet and greets and face to faces out of the way. So that's kind of good.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw Northwoods at dinner on Saturday night at Collecticon. Yeah. I flew in Saturday morning. Wonder picked me up from the airport. I hung out at his place for a little bit, and then we shot over to Collecticon. It wasn't as busy as the Jersey show by far. The New Jersey show was so busy compared to Charlotte. But good atmosphere. Ray had the most terrible section again right in front of the stage. The poor guy can't catch a break. It's like literally elbow to elbow. The Yin Yang twins, you should have seen the smile on Ray's face when the Yin Yang twins came on.
I'm sure.
Oh, he was so happy. Yeah, I mean, Dan had his section. Ray had his section. Saw Jake in his section. Hoo TCG was there. Java Akuma was there. I think he's in chat right now. So, I'm gonna miss people. Pokestone was there. He's an awesome guy. I know him and Ray actually drove through the hurricane to get back down to Florida because flights were canceled. So thankfully they both got home safe. Everything was good with that. It was a crazy weekend. Huge party Sunday night at Wonder's house. I'm sure there's going to be videos about it soon. We'll chat a little bit about that in a little bit. But it just the hobby never ceases to amaze me. With how everything comes together, how everyone comes together and just has literally epic weekends. Like this was an epic weekend for me. I had one of the best times of my life in the 2 days I was in Charlotte. I really do love that Collecticon. Yeah,
I like the show too because I went last year. Even with all the issues I had, beautiful town or beautiful city,
beautiful,
a great area that it's in. A lot of cool stuff close by. So great show. Great location for it too. And it's always got a lot of great, nice people down there that are happy to host and do a lot of cool stuff, which is always fun too, right? I mean, bar hopping's one thing, and that's always an option, right? But
absolutely,
being able to go to somebody's place and just people being so hospitable, it's really awesome to see.
Yeah, it is really awesome to see. So, any Collecticons coming up for you in the near future, or
Chicago is going to be the big one.
Perfect.
I think it's going to be a crazy show. I mean,
all the homies are going to Chicago. I feel like everyone is going. We have 6 full sections, I think now.
I'm going to have a full section to myself. I'm buying a whole section.
Or you're doing it again. So are you doing the whole setup like you did in Charlotte?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, just as big, if not bigger. And so actually, I'm going to do my own section and we'll have to figure out the section leads and everything. But yeah, it's gonna be nuts, right? So it's gonna be a crazy show. Like that could be. I mean, in my mind, I think of like Denver as like the greatest like niche time in the hobby of just like everybody was there at the time.
Yeah.
But Chicago is probably going to blow it out of the water. I think it's just the amount of people that are going to be there. I mean, if you're not going, what are y'all doing? You know?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. So I looked at flights today actually, and there's flights as cheap as $120 round trip from my house to there. Round trip, $120. Even and the next one is like $140, and it's a better time earlier in the day, which I'm going to do. I'm going to fly in Wednesday, I'm pretty sure, and stay till Sunday or Monday morning.
Yeah, Chicago. I mean, there's just you can spend weeks in Chicago and not have your fill of what to do. So it's obviously a great location, long overdue. But yeah, that's going to be a great one for sure.
Yeah, never been. Definitely looking forward to it. All right, so we got Catch 'em All collectibles in here. Rocket ship emojis. I love it. We have our very own Mason Berry.
Yep.
We got E-Unit here. What's up, E-Unit? Thank you for stopping in here. I really do appreciate you. We got Java Akuma. Like I said, Java Akuma was down there in Charlotte. It was absolutely great seeing him. He had some crazy Nintendo cards and Zelda cards out the second day. I can get a PSA 10 little Mac card where he's like punching into the air wearing green trunks. And it was one of the cooler cards I've ever seen in my life. It's like, I loved Punch Out growing up. Like that was my jam. I loved it. So just very cool. We got Gym Leader Pepe in here. What's going on, man? Happy to see you back again. Gonna be late 2Xer, but looking forward to this. No problem, Dan. Glad you're here to watch it. Even if you got a 2X it, which is fine. I have so much stuff to catch up on because of these past 2 weeks have just been insane. I'm going to Puerto Rico next week. I'm flying out on Sunday. I'll be gone for 5 days in Puerto Rico. So before this year, I hadn't flown since 2017. I was like staying away from airplanes, and I've literally it'll be the 4th time I've flown this year somewhere different. And then 5 will be Charlotte or Chicago. So I'm really making up for lost time. We got Professor Birch, Mason Biersky. This is going to be a good one. Shout out Professor Birch for putting together the Biersky-Apalooza recap video.
I saw that. I watched that. Yeah,
it was so awesome. He had so much more video than I thought he had. He was quietly recording the whole time, and it's just easy to forget about a camera when it's around. That was fantastic that you did that. Thank you so much for putting that up there. As soon as they announce our new the 2025 shows, once I figure out what date Jersey is, because I have to assume that they're going to redo Jersey again. I will start getting Biersky-Apalooza 2 Electric Boogaloo ready to go. So I'll start getting information out for that as soon as I have the information I need. We got Pokey Chef in the house. What's up, Chef? In the kitchen still. What up, Mason? Biersky. Chef's wild. So Chef flew to Gen Con Thursday. He did 2 eBay live shows at Gen Con. Partied all night with Nick, Walrus, and Brad G. Slept 1 hour. Got an Uber to the airport. Flew in and then cooked a huge meal for, I'd have to say, probably 20 people at Wonder's house. Absolute stud. Bedrock of the hobby right there, man. I'm telling you what, we talk about pillars, but people like Chef that can do that for that many people and deliver some delicious food, like you're killing it, bro. Thank you so much, Chef.
What a hero. For real.
Yeah, dude, hero. We got Quilly in here. What's going on, Quilly? Happy to see you here. What's up, gamers? Yep, we missed you, Mason. Absolutely.
Yep. Come to Chicago. You won't have to miss me.
That's it, man. So how did Shrouded Fable go? How did the Shrouded Fable pre-release launch go? Are you having issues with the ETBs getting?
Yeah, I mean, the ETBs are nationwide across everybody. They're delayed, so they're delayed in manufacturing. So nobody has ETBs, or at least they shouldn't have them yet. But Shrouded Fable, because it's a specialty set, doesn't have a pre-release, so no pre-release for this.
Oh,
one.
Okay, no pre-release.
So, but all the little auxiliary boxes that you always like, the Kingdra and the Greninja box and stuff like that. I got a couple more cases than I would normally of that, but I didn't order hardly next to anything because most of the time, for specialty sets, people want the most bang for their buck. They want the ETBs, they want the bundles and stuff like that. So I wasn't really heavy on those. and both of those were delayed. So
Ugh.
I guess the idea was that they got all the smaller stuff out of the way that took less packs, just to put stuff on the shelf, as much stuff out as possible. And then if it was whether it was printing the cards or an actual putting the stuff together, who knows, right? But it's rough when it's delayed like that, because I have so many more ETBs coming in 3 weeks. Prices will be crashed, and nobody will want it, and everybody's gonna have all their stuff already. It's kind of crazy.
So are ETBs your normal breakdown boxes too for something like this? Would you break down for
normally
packs and whatnot?
Yeah, that I don't do bundles because normally they're so close to pack price anyways, and they're kind of like the best deal anyways. They're basically like selling packs individually as is, right? So
okay,
if I want to like break stuff down, just have packs for people, ETBs do make the most sense typically.
Okay, so that's affecting you a little bit. So this has not been a good launch for LGSs. I'm assuming this is one of the worst ones Pokemon. Yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
Well, I mean, it's whatever. It's just the timing of it is so bad because Worlds is right here. The set is legal for Worlds, and people don't have the cards and struggling to find cards and test and build decks with it in this short amount of time, because Worlds is next weekend, is it?
Yeah, it's next weekend. It's the same weekend or the weekend after I get home from Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Yeah. So the ETBs don't even come out the weekend after that.
So what are the prices for singles looking like right now for that Shrouded Fable? Are they going because the scarcity especially because Worlds is coming up?
Some of them are a lot higher than what they probably should be, for sure. Just people opening 3-pack blisters and 5 packs in a box for $30. It's rough out there for as far as like singles hit the market, and then LGSs aren't. I don't have things to bust or things to get trade in stuff for. So it's kind of rough for us to put stuff on the market too. So there is kind of a shortage going on for sure. But I don't know if it's good or bad because the set's so terrible. So I don't know if it's really a blessing in disguise, or maybe, hey, it's kind of floating the prices a little bit higher for us a little bit. If I do get some singles in, I can sell them off and do pretty good. But it's just not a great set. You're talking about playability wise, there's like 4 cards in the entire set that might be.
Oh wow, so that's just a bad.
It's kind of like whatever, but
collector wise and playability wise,
it's not great. No, I really wish they would just not do a specialty set in the summer. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
And it seems like they're doing so many specialty sets all the time now. You go 151, you had this. I mean, it just feels like they're probably a little overdone, the specialty sets. Like, they should be special.
It makes sense to me to do it close to Christmas and having like a small like Christmas set, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But, Pokemon Go was the first thing that had this slot. And in the summer, that's the first time we really saw anything crazy at the end of summer like this. And I think we're good. I think we're good with just holding off and because the pre-release weekend for Stellar Crown, which is the next standard set, comes out. It's going on the same weekend that the bundles are coming out for Shrouded Fable.
Oh, are you serious? That's going to be confusing for people too. Definitely.
What are we doing? So it's just like, they used to say, Obsidian Flames is short printed and all this stuff, but this set it's not even getting a full time to breathe before the next set is coming up, and Stellar Crown is just gonna blow it out of the water.
Yeah,
that set is gonna do very well. It's a good set. It's a fun set. It is competitive wise. It's somewhere in the realm of like what Lost Origin would be.
Okay.
I had the Lost Zone and the Greninja and all that, or not Greninja, Giratina and all that. So really going to shake things up. Has a lot of good cards in it. So we'll see what happens. And people are definitely looking forward to that set. And I guess Shrouded Fable is just going to kind of fade off into the distance here because who cares? Who cares?
I mean, especially if what you're saying is happening where they're just releasing the ETBs the same weekend the new full set's coming out. That's wild. So we'll segue a little bit from there because this was such a turd. How do you feel about the Scarlet and Violet block going forward from here, though?
Oh,
I know that we have some heat happening, supposed heat happening in the hobby. People are about to lose their panties over it. So
it can't get much worse, right? So I mean, other than 151, obviously, I could use a couple more wins. That'd be nice. That'd be great. And that's not to say like Pokemon has done pretty well up to this point, right? With as far as like printing and having things printed to demand. I don't make a lot of. I took a little break from doing Pokemon videos, but I do want to make some more because there is stuff to talk about, and there's no booster boxes available.
Really?
Like of any set in Scarlet and Violet, there's none.
Interesting.
I mean, looking all the way back from Twilight Masquerade backwards, there's nothing. It's very, very scarce, and if there is, it's limited and it's more expensive, just like how it used to be
with
2 years ago when everything was, in short supply, and so I don't know what they're printing. I guess all these new sets, and they're still struggling with that. But where's all this other stuff? I need, products and boxes and stuff like that. I'm having to buy building battles, pre-release kits of Twilight Masquerade just to get packs right now for the most recent set, which is shouldn't be a thing, but
no,
here we are.
Speaking of Twilight Masquerade, I'd like to shout you out for the build and battle box that you sent us for the TCG tournament. That went off without a hitch. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that.
That was so fun. And again, Birch recording that was really cool. So
yeah,
I'm glad it was a good time for y'all. Y'all just hanging out and people were just playing Pokemon. Just like
it's
you just were hanging out in the backyard, or if you were just watching the game or whatever. It's really funny. It's really cool. It's not something that we've had yet. So that's kind of
and I'm hoping it continues to grow. I definitely want to get some more people here for it next year. I think maybe the hour-long drive scared some people away. So I'm thinking possibly next year trying to find a venue that's close to the hotel that will have cheap enough price where I can get a big enough room where we can get people to come and actually play the tournament, and it'll be a little bit bigger. So that's what I'm kind of shooting for next year. But we'll see.
Yeah, and you don't need a ton of space, really. Like realistically, you don't need. I mean, find a little Starbucks or something, and you probably
right. So we have
really
we have the American Legion here. And it's like $150 to rent it for 4 or 5 hours. So that would be like perfect. So if there's an American Legion somewhere, they're usually not that expensive to rent out.
No, it's pretty good.
So have you seen an increase in demand for Scarlet and Violet sets prior to Twilight Masquerade because of the scarcity? I know that. I mean, it's funny seeing the cycles of how people trash on the sets, and then once they just get a little bit older, people start falling in love with the sets. And it seemed like it happened in Sword and Shield, and it's happening now. I just picked up a couple master sets of some early Scarlet and Violet base, Obsidian Flames, and 151. So I'm starting to acquire some things for a little hole and selling some stuff. So is there more demand for it because of scarcity? Is that a thing that's happening right now? Do you see that?
I mean, it could be that, or just maybe people finally got their fill of the last block of Sword and Shield, so maybe we're okay with moving on. It's not getting any cheaper, and prices are only going to go up. So what do you want to do? You want to open $6 packs of Silver Tempest at this point, or you want to open Scarlet and Violet and have a good chance of actually pulling some cool cards that look awesome? And has a lot of good stuff and fun stuff to pull, or you want to go brick on Silver Tempest? It's just kind of like, what do you want to do? And I think a lot of people are opting for, just give me the hits and give me cool cards to look at.
I mean, it's definitely fun ripping up Scarlet and Violet. The 3 hollows, like that, them moving to that, it was a great move for Pokemon because it does. I mean, follow the Crown Zenith model essentially. Like, just put hits in the thing. Like, I love that there's so many hits to be pulled out of stuff and so many Pokemon that people like. It's definitely making the ripping experience much more viable and fun.
Yeah, I think so. And I think these last little tweaks they did to the rarity of cards and things like that, I think we are in the sweet spot of just like, okay, this is still fun, but there's still chase. There's still, there's not $800 cards like in Evolving Skies, but there's $60 cards, $100 cards, $80 cards, stuff in that range. It's not complete bleakness like it was initially when you think of like Silver Tempest or Scarlet and Violet base. Pound Evolved when it first came out, prices were not crazy. Of course, not crazy, right?
Yeah.
But so it's kind of nice to have. It just feels like what it used to be before the craziness, honestly. But you get more stuff now, and we would have there's really cool hollows back then, right? Now we have alt art or art rares to have and have fun with, and way better looking cards. People I think are really accepting those and wanting to buy those, and getting really cool, awesome arts for $1, $2, $3. Like that's a win for everybody, right? So
yeah,
that's gives a good chance of kids and things to have a nice cool card and throw it in a binder or sleeve it up and feel like they got something cool when really it's not crazy money, but it's a cool looking card. So props to Pokemon for at least making it a fun experience and not just bricking over and over and over. Like I think of like yellow border now versus yellow border stuff being so hard to pull, and now gray border stuff is fun.
So how do you think that'll affect like the change from yellow to silver borders? Like, do you think that yellow borders are going to be, once it becomes more vintage, like obviously there's vintage yellow borders, but say once we get 2 more sets or 2 more blocks away from here and this stuff starts becoming a little more older, do you think that is going to, premium's going to go up much higher because of scarcity on polls? Or do you think people will be, because the people that are coming now are getting the experience they're getting now, they'll be more likely to continue moving on forward with purchasing new sets and not so much looking back?
Yeah, I don't know. I think of like, you think of like other like easily identifiable cards. Like I think the Team Flare cards, and I have like back when the other original Ace Specs were, they had the Team Plasma stuff that has like blue borders that really pop out. Team Flare stuff is red borders and stuff like that. I think it's really neat. It definitely does. I don't know if it's like, hey, this is going to be like a pivot point, but it definitely is. This generation and this generation, there is a clear divide now of like, hey, things majorly changed in Pokemon at this point. More hollows, easier pulls, more art rares, fun, more hits per pack kind of thing. I think it definitely, people are going to see yellow bordered stuff, especially like you think of like X and Y, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. All that stuff is going to be like Pokemon hard mode. Because we will get to a point where we're spoiled and being like, man, you only got 8 hits out of a box. Holy crap, that's next to nothing. We're getting 14, 15 hits right now out of the silver border stuff. So it's. I think people are gonna be like, you know what? They were nostalgic at first about, oh, I missed the yellow borders, but I think we're gonna be like, man, things definitely got funner. The opening experience got funner with the silver border stuff. So I think people will warm up to it and kind of see it as like, yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I definitely think that while it's vintage will be vintage, people always have, want to see and have that stuff. I do think that it will suck if you buy a vintage box of Evolving Skies and you pull nothing out of it. Like it's brutal. And then the prices for it now, there's $700 a box still. It's just insane to even like you can pull one card out that'll plus EVU on that. Like that's it. There's only one of them that'll plus EVU. Then you're not hitting. If anyone watched the radar stuff, not the radar, the rattle videos, I mean, it took them 3,300 some packs to pull it. So like that's a possibility to happen to everyone that's ripping packs.
Yeah,
it's just
people are gonna, like I said, it's gonna be seen as like hard mode, Pokemon hard mode when it comes to pulling stuff. And obviously the prices are probably gonna stay that way to stay up higher to reflect that for sure. But I think people are gonna they're gonna warm up to how things are now and ultimately see it as a better fun way to play for sure.
Awesome. So we got a question for you, Mason. If you were not running a brick and mortar store, what type of cards would you focus on if you were solo selling from home on TCG Player?
Oh my goodness.
What would change? I love the questions, Birch. Keep them coming. If anyone has any questions for Mason or myself, please put them in the comments, and I promise we will get to you.
Yeah. Before I had a brick and mortar, I definitely was, I was buying collections, and I would not be doing bulk. Bulk is so brutal. I could not do it as a one-man
bulk mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it's not getting done now, and I got as many employees as I do. So, yeah, I'd probably just be buying collections and flipping that kind of stuff and trying to get a deal on that kind of stuff. You know, now though its margins are just so tight. I'm paying 70% is where we top out at payout in the store. But I know some places, they're paying 80% or crazy amounts of, and I don't understand if you're not, unless you're selling it in person or you maybe doing shows, and that makes more sense to you because you don't have to pay the fees. But yeah, TCG Player has fees, and that's 15% off the top. So you literally can't pay more than 80%, or else what are you doing? You're wasting your time. So yeah, I'd probably be doing a lot more with graded stuff. I'm probably doing a lot more with, again, just buying collections, buying the best of the best, paying what I can, cash wise, and doing stuff like that. Just makes sense to me. And I'd probably be, maybe speculating on stuff a little bit better, or doing more stuff with, I love the stained glass birds. It's probably like one of my favorite cards in the whole hobby. So I don't collect a whole lot. I do have some cards now that I have small collections of, or things that I'm sitting on. Stained glass birds is probably the card that I have the most of. I just think, I don't even know what it is now, but it's whatever it is, $20-$30 card in a $150 box. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So it sounds like a good card to sit on if anything was going to happen.
Yeah, those are gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's unique, and they've never done anything like it again, so it's kind of a no-brainer for as far as like something to sit on. But yeah, I'd be definitely doing stuff with promos and kind of making calls like that. Buying all these trainer gallery stuff that is way too cheap, and in 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to be crazy cards that people are going to want.
Yeah,
art rares are not going away. People like those cards. There will be people that want to build binders of just those cards, and they're going to need those older cards in those collections. The things that are abundant and people are paying $1, $2 for right now, they will very happily pay $5, $6, $10 for some of the better stuff years from now. So that's the kind of stuff I would be focusing on.
All right, awesome. Yeah, the art rares, I definitely see what you're saying with the art rare bundles. I wish Pokemon would try and put some of those together though. Like sets of arts that kind of come together, almost like the Giratina. From not Silver Tempest, from Crown Zenith, like putting all those together, like that would be cool, just to have like a full set of cards that came out of one set release that kind of showed a picture. And like not like the Crown Zenith one where they were all just like a picture of them like kind of hopping in the middle and they came together, but like one that really melded together nicely would be very interesting, because they could do something like that and binder collectors would go nuts, because if you could put something together like that, would be so cool.
There was that in Crown Zenith where you had the small art rares, and then they kind of, if you add them all together, and like 3x3 pages. But I wonder why they've never done like, just to say, a Charizard box set. Please, not another Charizard, but
please.
It was just like one larger photo, and then you had your Charmander, your Charmeleon, and a Charizard, but it's all the same photo, but it's just on the card separately. So when you put it together, it looked. I wonder why they haven't ever done that. That's kind of a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I think that would look great. It would look great for binder collectors. It would add, almost like a mini sets coming out of bigger sets. I think that's something that they could definitely tap into eventually. That would
Or if they just put that all in a, like I said, if it comes in a box set with all of them together and it looks good on the shelf, sealed, like that'd be a big win, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Birch, if you have any other questions, please put them down below. We got Black Rose Collectibles in here. Just got here. Hope you guys have a great stream, guys. Thank you very much. We got SDC in here. What's going on, man? Awesome. I caught alive. Did I miss the scanner controversy take? So this was down. I'm interested in seeing what a local game store owner thinks about CT scanning packs. Will it affect your business? Will it not affect your business? What are your thoughts on it in the hobby? Just all around thoughts on CT scanners and what they could possibly do to cards and box prices. We got to pan out.
I don't know if people are going to like my answer.
I'm here for it. Let's get hot takes, Mason. I love it.
I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think ultimately, it's very impactful to the people that saw vintage as some sort of impervious thing. Oh my god, it only ever goes up. Like, what are we doing? It's brain dead. Buy old stuff and it goes up in price. Like, sit on it. This kind of changes things. Also, like, where you get things from, and if they can do some sort of some sort of tamper evident thing, even if it's aftermarket. Say, hey, this is direct from a distributor. I'm going to wrap it with this whatever, so it, if it gets scanned, it turns black or something, whatever, opaque, and or this little sticker that I add to it, and if it gets scanned, it, is basically says that, this is questionable. It's very easy to compare it to weighing packs and lights, heavies, and then, hey, I'm going to search this entire case or whatever it is, right? It's going to really affect who is selling things and where the stuff is coming from. If you buy something online, is it less of a premium as opposed to you buying it from somebody that you know and can trust, that they've had it this entire time? They don't, they're well known and they're well respected, and hey, this, it's going to be a vetting system or some sort of like way of documenting, hey, I bought this from this person. They were all the same way. Like, if you buy old stuff, man, I bought all these packs. They're all had nothing in them.
Yep.
That's crazy. Or it's going to be the same thing. Man, I bought 8 heavies off this dude, and they're all chances and are bad hollows. Stuff like that. I think people are going to have to. You have to have some sort of record or database or something like that, and it's all anecdotal, right? Like, hey, yeah, I could have 8 heavies and I could pull all the same hollow. Sure, that's a definite thing that could happen. If they're loose packs, if they're sourced from other places, who knows, right? But I think we're gonna have to do a lot more diligent work on who has this stuff, their history of selling things on it, how long have they been selling, there's going to have to be an even more better understanding of or a lineage of where this product has been, who's had it, can they be trusted, have they been a long time pillar, good people in the hobby. That type of stuff is going to happen. I really don't think it's going to affect modern. It's just, unless you have like a Evolving Skies kind of thing again. But most of the time, people are not going to be scanning, even if there's the next like 151, right? I'm really worried about people scanning 151 packs and pulling, hoarding the Charizards and stuff like that? Maybe, but it's just, I really don't think it's, there's so much of this product being produced now. Let's say, what do you want to say? 5% of it gets CT scanned, 10% of it gets CT scanned. That's still millions and millions and millions of packs of all the stuff floating around, perfectly fine, totally safe. More than likely not anything crazy or tampered with or searched or in any way. So it's just kind of like, it's for modern, it's whatever. But maybe people will say, hey, I want to buy it from a brick and mortar versus some random dude online.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy that's selling, thousands of booster boxes, maybe he is out searching all those and then offloading all the other stuff. It's just kind of like, maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. We'll see, right? Like, who knows? But definitely for vintage stuff, I think it's very important that we make a list or have some people are well known as like, hey, this guy has been known to CT scan stuff. All right, never buy some product from him ever, because why would you? So there will have to be some sort of better diligence from vintage collectors and vintage sellers, honestly, and prove to me, that's really the burden of proof at this point, is like, you prove to me that this deserves any sort of premium, over a light pack or whatever, then that I can have confidence in saying that I might pull something. So it's
crazy, man. So I know that it's. I talked to Dan this weekend about it, and I said, he said that he sold his last heavy pack. He sold to us on PK's live stream that one night, and we opened it. We got the Venusaur. Speaking of, PK is going to crack that bad boy and resubmit it to PSA as many times I think as it takes to get the 10. So we're in this for the long haul, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, when people like Dan don't want to sell heavy packs now, and that was last year, that was literally his I want to be the heavy pack guy at Collecticon, and now he's got to shy away from it because inevitably he'll be getting hit with this was CT scanned. That's why there's no Charizards here. Or I didn't get a Charizard because of this. And then, like you said, burden of proof is now on honest sellers that there's zero way to prove that they didn't do something like that. So it's just like when people say packs are being resealed. How do you prove that it's not? It's hard to do. Yeah. So it kind of, that sucks for the seller. It sucks for the buyer because if you can't enter a transactional relationship where both people are hesitant to make a sale. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it destroys any sort of premium. We have a light price and we have a heavy price, right? Are we going to have a CT scan price, which is less of a light? Is this going to be somewhere in between? I don't know. We're going to see where this all shakes out. But maybe you'll sell, hey, this is guaranteed a gold star. Hey, here you go. Some rich guy says, hey, give your kid this. They're going to pull this gold star. They're going to have a crazy, amazing memory, and it's going to be awesome, right? That might have a premium for people that want to shell out the extra whatever amount of money. So maybe it works both ways. I don't know. That's an interesting thought.
So I know that I think the prices went down from $75 to $15 in a week to CT scan packs. Yeah. So I don't know if that's a little fuzzy. You're okay. I don't know if that is a thing that shows that they're already ramping up and they have enough packs coming in, or no one's sending packs in and they're about to shit the bed. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like the price, $15 a pack to find out that you have just a hollow rare is going to suck. And when, say, you send an Evolving Skies in and you send in 3,000 packs and you don't get what you want, what are we doing here? Yeah, so I feel like they're luring people in.
That's the reality of this.
Yeah.
Is that, hey, I'm going to send in and pay $150 to have these packs scanned, and they're all going to be nothing. Great. Now I'm down $150, and I don't have good shit in these packs. So now
I don't have good shit.
And I'm double down bad now. So there's going to be far more people that do that than the one dude that sends in one pack for $15, finds out that he has a gold star in a pack, and be like, oh, I'm huge dubs. I love it.
Yeah, plus EV for that, but negative EV for literally everyone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I definitely think that it kind of shows more or less that it's not. I mean, they probably said 75 and they were like, we're going to clean up. And then they were just realizing people aren't going to pay those prices to see that they got nothing.
Right.
And then you have to trust a new service that you don't even know. Say you scan the Umbreon is in there. Who's to say that they're just not going to grab that pack, pull it out and switch it with another pack of the same pack art? There's no way, the possibilities are endless of how this could be bad for people sending these packs in.
Yeah. The reality is that, and they don't even send you they don't even say hey, this is it. Here you go. It's here's the pictures, you do it.
Yeah.
So you have to be a freaking X-ray technician to figure out what's in this pack. This is
and how to go and scan through everything. And is your computer even strong enough to handle that kind of stuff? Because you're rendering multiple layers on multiple layers of things. So it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know CT stuff is kind of more advanced than I worked at TSA for 7 years. So I'm pretty good with X-rays and all the technology of that. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. CT is a different technology, but you could definitely send stuff through an X-ray and see, based on the colors that it shows up, whether or not there's a bunch of foils in it, or if there's something, if it's just a stack of of other type of material versus, you know, actual cards. You know, if you put a base set first edition stuff out, and then you have one of the ones from Logan Paul's case, I could probably tell you a difference based on just how the cards are, how dense they are.
That's what really?
X-rays look for.
Wow.
X-rays look for density, so that, you know, the color and the image that people see is based on density.
Okay.
CT is less so. It's more of, it's, you know, it has other things at play, and I'm not the technology I'm familiar with, but yeah, people could send boxes of a sports product and see like the inserts and stuff in a box. Like, it'd be very obvious because it'd be a different density. So
yeah,
why that wasn't more prevalent in sports already? Like, X-ray machines are not expensive. You know, if you go through and take a box to a show, ask the TSA guy to spin around the monitor and hey, do I have a really thick thing in this box? And be like, all right, well, thanks, for free.
Yeah, right.
So
just having the homie at TSA helping you out.
Yeah, so it's just like, how prevalent was that beforehand? You know, who knows?
Well, and that's my next question. Like, how long has this been happening, do you think, in your mind? Obviously, this didn't just happen out of nowhere. Someone didn't just, I don't know what it's called, but no idea is original. I think PK said it in one of his lives. There's no original idea. Someone thought about this and has done it and has been doing it. Why now, all of a sudden? So now, how long do you think this has been happening for?
This is my thought. If all that time went by and all the controversy with Logan Paul and his case, is it real? Is it not real? Is it real? It's not real. If CT scanning was prevalent, even by a small group of people.
Okay. I didn't.
You don't think they would have reached out to Logan Paul and be like, hey, let me just scan this for you? You don't think they would have done that? They'd be like, hey, that'd be really good content if we scan these and saw what's inside these boxes before you. You don't think they would have done that?
Before you scam everyone else with it.
You think? Like, you know, that's where my head's at.
Okay.
But
that's an interesting. I didn't even think about that, and that's a great, point to put, is that someone like him would have the capabilities to have that done. Right. Someone probably would have reached out.
Somebody would have reached out, I'm sure, and said, hey, you want me to just scan that for you and put this all to bed?
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm kind of tend to agree with you, where modern packs probably won't be a thing. It'll be vintage, and it will just hurt people who, like you said, kind of said that vintage was untouchable, and now you just have to be careful with what you're doing when you're buying vintage, which sucks because, I'm sure there's a lot of people in this hobby that their lifetime hobby goal was to grab a base unlimited box or a base shadowless box or Team Rocket box, something like that. And now the doubt's always going to be in their mind.
Look at all those booths at Collecticon. Like, there's those guys that have hundreds of loose packs of all types of eras stuff.
Yeah.
Are those guys shitting their pants right now? Like, who knows? Like, I'd be at least a little concerned. Even if you don't scan them, like, I don't know. I can see this affecting prices pretty significantly, And those guys, they buy aggressively. They don't have a lot of margins to lose. So
no, yeah, and the packs were out in full force too. They were everywhere. They were still on. There were shadowless packs going around. Shout out to Aaron Trackstar in Discord. He had a shadowless pack come up to him. I was actually in Jake's section. He came over to me and asked me if it was legit. Rusty was literally standing right there, and I looked at him and I pointed and I went, that's the man you need to go talk to about whether or not this is an authentic, shadowless pack. So it's just funny, like, how all this stuff was still around, still doing what it was doing. And, there was just booths that had full cases full of loose packs, like you said. So, I am, but again, we know Dan, and Dan's not taking packs to Collecticon anymore. So that's, it sucks when someone who's honest, has integrity, and has been doing this for years and years and years with multiple collectibles over a long period of time. It's just, it sucks a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on from CT scanning because we don't want to make that the whole night. Why are both not in Hawaii? What are your thoughts on all the exclusive merch? I wish I could go to Hawaii. I wish that could be a thing. Hawaii is way too expensive for me to get to right now, especially with all the little travelings I've been doing here. Next Worlds, that's in the U.S. Lower 48, I will be at, though. So hopefully it's sooner than later. Definitely interested. But what are your thoughts on all the exclusive merch? I know there's another Bear Walker skateboard coming out, and just like all the regular merch that comes out for Worlds. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, trust me, I've been talking with Ernie, so I know all about the Bear Walker and all that stuff. For one thing, the Bear Walker is it's twice the pop as the one from Japan, and I think the Japan board is way better personally. Like it's the Hawaii one is cute and all, but I'd want the one from Japan. I'd want the Japanese deck way more than I'd want the Hawaii one. So, I mean, it's cool. Like it's kind of like what of course they want to have commemorative stuff to show people that and for collectors that go and have it be I don't think the intention is to be like, hey, load up your bags and pay for your trip. I don't think that's the idea. I don't think it'll always be that way either. So, but obviously, I don't know. If I had to pick one over like Hawaii versus Japan, I'd have the Japan stuff. I think that's way cooler. And
it's just because that was the first time they had Worlds there, right? I think that was the first time Worlds was actually in Japan, which is cool.
Yeah, and they've had
that made it special for sure.
They've had Worlds in Hawaii, I think, at least twice and maybe 3 times now. So
yeah,
it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, even that Yokohama promo from last year, the Yokohama deck was awesome. That promo was great.
Cool.
All right, we got Jodo Jake in here. What's up, Jodo Jake? Happy to see you. All right, Pokemage 87. So Pokemage 87 came up, said hi to me.
Cool.
Said thank you for making content. It was actually really cool. I had quite a few surreal moments this past weekend.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't that cool?
It really is cool. I definitely think it's understated by a lot of people.
It is.
You kind of don't want to come off as being like, oh, this is like, it's not what I'm doing it for. But when you get recognized by people and they genuinely enjoy what you're doing, it makes you feel good. I'm happy to make content. I love making. It's my favorite part of the hobby. So Pokemage, thank you for stopping and chatting for a little bit. I'm glad you made it in. Please come back whenever you want, dude. If you have any questions, please put them down below. I had another guy, Wonder and I took a picture with him. Just awesome stuff. Like it's crazy when you're walking around something that big and you hear your name being called by someone you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, whoa, what's going on? Like, how you doing?
And I will say to anybody that's like, hey, I watch these guys on YouTube and they're kind of we're not a big deal, but we're like, no. People know who I am.
Yeah.
Like game store owners around the country know who I am. And, people at TCU Player know who I am. People at eBay know who I am because they watch the content. I don't know you at all. Like, so if you guys want to, talk, you got to come up and say, hey,
please.
I watch your stuff. I don't have any way of knowing, I have no way, and I'm just a dude. I don't think I'm a big deal, but if you want to say hi, absolutely, come say hi to it.
Yeah, please.
We love it. Like it's part of it. It's part of the community building aspect of it. Like it's very validating, and it recharges your batteries to like, hey, I want to make more content now because
absolutely
people enjoy it. That's why we do it.
That's exactly why we do it. And like I said, it's great. It's great talking to people. I watch your stuff. Like some Pokemage told me what his name was. The other guy I met, really, he's like, I just lurk. I don't say much. I was like, well, you should start saying stuff. Like, come involved. Like, being involved is the best thing you can do for yourself in this hobby. Being a no name behind the screen, while it's good, just branch out, people. Like, put yourself out there, talk.
Go to shows. Go to Collecticon.
Go to shows. Absolutely. Go to local shows. Go to any show. Do something. Like, be involved with the community because what you get out of that is tenfold anything else that you get out of this. Money's great. Say it all the time. Money's great, but this stuff is better. Yeah,
for sure. And like your channel's not monetized, but
no,
I get it. A tiny smidgen off YouTube. It's not even like anything I even account for, other than hey, it pays for my Photoshop subscription, right? But that's about all it covers.
But that's still so cool.
Right. But it's just like, definitely it's not about the money. It's not about all that. It's about having a community and people to talk to. And just because we're nerds and we want to talk about it as much as possible, right? So
yeah,
we want you to reach out. We want you to be a part of it. Like if you see us out walking around or even at a show or whatever, can you say or where you guys going? Can I go? Like, you don't have to ask for me permission.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, you're a part of us. Like, you're as good as anybody else. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you will not be turned away. Like,
no,
it's just like, come hang out. As long as you're a
you
cool
know,
person and you're nice and jovial with everyone,
yeah.
that's it. Like
There's a couple hours for the cabal meeting that we can't let anybody in. But after that, and
yeah,
we're
100%.
we're just dudes. We're hanging out. Yeah.
I love it. Did you have any thoughts on the signature controversy? Signed Pokemon cards are so awesome. So I don't know what he is talking about. If you could elaborate in the comments, please.
I mean,
I don't follow signatures that much. It's really not my thing. If Ernie was in here, I'm sure he'd know. But he's off somewhere yawning, I'm sure.
oh yeah,
So,
probably.
but yeah, Black Rose wants to know what controversy.
Yeah,
We got
not aware. Yeah.
we got Seasoned Salt in here. What's going on, Seasoned Salt? Oh, look at this. We have Pokestone in here with his personal. Now we got his government name.
Oh, shoot.
Basic Trainer, what's up?
Basic
got to talk to Basic for quite a bit on Sunday night.
First time?
So I talked to him very briefly in Charlotte last year. This was actually the first time I sat down and actually had like a one-on-one conversation with him. Basic's great people, man. I really enjoyed talking to him. We talked about actually vending locally, and how vending locally is, I think, sometimes overlooked, especially with our group, because Collecticon is the biggest thing, Gen Con, huge, like card party. But local shows have all the same stuff to offer. It's just not as many booths. Like you can walk around Collecticon and see the same thing a million times, but you walk around local shows and it's like, oh man, like I see a Gold Star Rayquaza here, PSA 9. Like that's awesome. And then, the smaller communities are great too. I met quite a few people. I have pretty good relationships with a couple of vendors now just from going to local shows.
Yeah.
So
and I tell people too, like, having a game store, right? Go to the game stores near you. Like, just go talk to the guys. Like, go see what's going on. Like, what's big, what people are getting in, check out if you're a grader. Oh my God. If you guys aren't going to local stores and looking for stuff to grade, you're freaking throwing. It's like eBay, but you get to actually have those cards in person. Like, what are we doing? And the smaller they are, the more mom and pop they are, the more they're going to cut you a deal. If you buy a bunch of stuff, throwing a couple $100 at a game store is no small change. So definitely, go to your local places and source cards and look and see what they do. Ask if they grade. I guarantee you they don't. I'm going to tell you right now. I guarantee you they're not grading cards. So if you want to grade some cards, try to scope out some local stuff, dude, you're sleeping.
Yeah, I wish there was more local card shops around me. The closest one is 25 to 30 minutes away. Unfortunately, they're not extremely friendly, which is a bummer. I've walked in there a couple times, and they kind of look at like. So when I first got in the hobby, like I walked in, and it was literally like, "Who the hell are you? Why are you in this store? We don't know you." That's the vibe I got from it. And then like every time I go in there, I kind of feel the same way now, and it's a shame. They have a very small Pokemon section, but they do huge. They do like One Piece and stuff like that, tournaments and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that jazz in the back room. But they just really walking in there. I mean, I've walked in there and not been said hello to before, and that's just like super off-putting and just like, I'm here to like buy stuff from you. So I don't know. It's bizarro, but I would wish more would open up that would have just like a better attitude about being a game store, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let me caveat that then. Go to your cool local game stores that actually appreciate you.
Yeah, awesome.
That will actually give you the time of day and appreciate you. I guarantee you that there are some great stores that you probably have around you that would love to have as many sales as they can, because trust me, Shrouded Fable ain't doing it. So we need to sell some things.
So we got Pokestone now. This is the alias of the man before. We're not going to use the government name ever again. But what's up, Stone? Reached out to me today. Glad you made it home safe driving through the hurricane with Ray. That was a stud move of you taking Ray back as far as you could. Really awesome.
What's the story there?
Ray's flight got canceled, obviously, because the hurricane hit Florida. So he had no way to get home. So Stone drove up. So they drove back together. Okay. So he got him through, I guess they got hit pretty bad in South Carolina and then a little bit in the Panhandle. But then it kind of cleared out by the time. So they didn't get too bad of weather, but I'm just glad you guys made it safe.
Yeah,
that can be
that is the worst.
Shit can go sideways pretty quickly in situations like that. So
yeah.
Let's see, 21 watching and 6 likes. You know what to do, chat. Yeah, please, if you're here and you haven't liked, please like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm up to 240 subscribers now, slowly but surely getting towards 250. Very awesome. Thank you, Mason. All right, we got Allman. What's going on, Allman? Did Mason just mark CT scanning on his bingo card?
I did. That's an old throwback joke from Pokenomics lives when I had a bingo card I printed out.
Really? Oh man, yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, he's hiding a CT scanner behind Bulk Mountain. He's just waiting for the opportune time to pull it out and actually start.
Can you not? Stop blowing up my spot. What are you doing?
I'm sorry, that was pre-talk. Oh no, I'll edit this out. We're good. Will it be an equivalent of light packs and heavy packs for scanning?
I would think there'd have to be. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you would get the pack back and know if it was light or heavy. You know what I mean? You would also send them out though. So I don't know. I'm trying to. What are you trying to say, Stone? Like,
are there
like price wise? Like, so like if the hit's in there, even if it's a heavy, so you get like an extra. There's extra premium because it's got the hit in it, and then so there's going to be like 4 tiers of cards now, 4 tiers for packs.
Well, if it's CT scan, there's nothing in it, they're not going to tell you. So probably not. So probably not. So we can just nick that.
Sounds like a doctor. We really got to wait until we review the CT scans. Question for Mason: is light play plus a real thing, or is this a trigger word?
That is a trigger word. There is a fine line between all these conditions, plus and minuses. I don't know where that came from or who started that, but that ain't a thing.
I don't get it. I hate when I see that too. It is what it is. It's either near mint, or it's light play, or it's moderately played. There's no. I love when you see like near mint plus. Or mint plus, like what does that mean to me? Like that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Let's see. Pokestone. I'm trademarking a new world in the card hobby world, and it's called Scandemonium. Grimer collects. What's going on, Grimer? Happy to have you here. He was there vending as well. Again, when you mention names, you forget people. Grimer was vending in Ray's section. He was vending next to Sterling. I think they did pretty well day 2. They said they were, day 2, they weren't doing well. Stone was doing well. So I talked to Ray earlier today too. And he said that there was a lot of vendors cleaning up between 2 and 3 o'clock on Sunday. So the traffic was definitely a lot slower.
The last year was too. Like Sunday was definitely a lighter day for sure.
Really did enjoy it. I love that city though. There's something about it. Everything's walkable. Yeah. It's so very walkable. It's very clean. And that, coming from the Northeast where you have New York City and it's like the biggest cesspool in the world sometimes. I'm going there tomorrow, New York City, Harry Potter exhibit for my birthday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So before it moves to Boston, this is like one of the last 2 weeks that are left. My birthday was last Wednesday. I am going to do a quick shout out to my father-in-law because he made me the most crazy card envelope ever.
Oh, let's see it. Yo,
36 years old, and so he's an artist. He was a art teacher for 40 something years, and I'll show it one more time. So that's my father-in-law drew this for my birthday. This is PC for sure. This will always be with me. It's just so awesome how he did it. So thanks, Pop, for putting that out for me. It was really appreciated and super awesome to get. Yeah. Probably never thought he'd be doing that for his 36-year-old son-in-law, but there you go.
At least you have something that you can like and he can easily draw. So you know what?
It's a win. Mason, has the discrepancies with TCG Player Direct strengthened your eyes on being more accurate on card conditioning? How are you coaching your employees on discerning the difference between LP, LP plus, and MP?
Yeah. Birch is hitting me with all the big
I love it
questions. I think that there is probably no one outside of TCG Player that is as familiar with their conditioning standards as I am at this point. I've spent so much time. I've written notes and quick tips and things for my guys. I've gone over stuff. I have reached out to them with concerns and questions about, hey, what does this mean exactly? What are you trying to like? What is this on a card? What is this equivalent to? That type of stuff. If you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, conditioning cards is, according to their standards, it is quantifiable. There are different sizes and amounts of different types of damage that can be on a card. It's all scalable. It all has a point value. It all fits into their rubric of what something is versus LP versus, HP versus damage versus. And I know it all. Trust me. And without going too deep into that, it's a whole bitch to try to go over and then teach somebody. It is not a natural thing, because when you look at a card, you probably look at the edges, look at the corners. If you do some grading, you probably look at the surface of it a little bit. But are you looking at the die cuts of rounding the edges like I am? Are you looking at if the bottom of you can tell where in the stack the layers of cards, when they get cut out of the sheets, based on how the edges of the card look, I can tell whether it was at the top or at the bottom of that sheet when it was cut. That's sadly where
that's where you're at.
That's where I'm at, as far as hey, this was really low. It has a really bad divot on the edge of the card because it was on the bottom of the stack, which means it had pressure applied before the slice came down. Y'all, it's wild. I'm too deep. I have too much, and I still have questions. I'm still confused. I'm still not 100% on a lot of their standards and what exactly they're looking for. And I am actively working with them to try to get them to be a little bit more clear. So hopefully we all will have better ideas of what they look for when they're conditioning cards, so that we can all be better.
Now, since eBay purchased TCG Player, I know eBay has its own condition scale as well. Are they the same thing, or is it?
The intention is it to be close, without all the technical mumbo jumbo of, hey, point values and yada yada yada. But for the most part, the types of damage that is allowed in eBay's moderately played and TCG Player's moderately played are similar.
Okay.
So it is close, and they were written on purpose to be at least similar. Okay. But no, they're not 1-to-1 for sure.
All right, so we got Daddy Donkey Kong in here. What's going on? Whoa! Let's not give Dan too much credit. What's going on, Daddy Donkey Kong? Happy to have you here. Got to give Dan a lot of credit, man. He knows his lane. He knows where he is. He's got his pulse on this hobby. I think a lot more than a lot of people do and think he does. Dan is where Dan is in life in Pokemon, because he knows what he's doing.
He's got that engineer brain.
Yeah, that's it. The robotic engineer brain. Bless him, though. Listen, he does his thing, man. And he can outdrink every single one of you in this chat right now and make it look easy. It's insane, man. Too. I don't know how he does it. I've seen it again. I bought some IPAs. I bought
for training.
Yeah, I bought a 6-pack of 9% IPAs, and I bought other beer and stuff to bring to Wonder's party. And I gave Dan a beer. We went through a couple more. He's like, "Well, how many more are left?" I was like, "There's 3 more." And he just went. We ended up driving back out and getting more IPAs for the rest of the night, and he just crushed them. Dude, it's amazing. I love how it's going. He got a little demo from Chef on how to take down a tenderloin correctly, beef tenderloin. So, there's videos. I'm sure you will see it in Dan's recap. It's awesome. Great. He literally did a whole tenderloin with Chef there, showing him how to do it. It was actually pretty awesome. So I know everyone was standing around Chef, sitting there watching him cut fruit and meat for 2 hours, fixated on him. Ava's Binder was there. She was saying how she would pay to watch content like that. Jake was saying how he would pay and how therapeutic it was watching Chef do that. So ideas were thrown around. And I told Chef I would be the first one to go. I will fly to Raleigh to do the YouTube show that he should do, which is cooking with someone and talking Pokemon and making your favorite meal and then doing that. And I think that would be awesome content for everyone. So I'm throwing it out there, Chef. I'm putting it out there in the Pokemon universe world. Let's manifest this and make it happen. I will fly to Raleigh for you whenever you want to make that happen. Let's go. Mr. Walrus in here. What's going on, Mr. Walrus? PWCC rates are hard. Just ask. Yeah, they are. Dan streamlined them a little bit, so they're much less hard. Just saw Mason. He's a big deal. He is a big deal. Mason's the man.
This is, I don't know if I should be saying this, but let me tell you. I was like, oh, Nick, you want to look at my case and see if you got anything in it? He's like, no, I don't have any money. I bought out a walrus and all this stuff. So I was like, what the hell? What?
He also bought out Benji, and Benji was in Charlotte, and Nick wasn't even there. And I came back to Benji day 2. And his cases were empty. And I was like, you sold everything? He goes, oh, yeah, I sold it to Nick. I was like, what? Nick's here? He goes, no, I just texted him and he bought everything. So, like, that's where Nick is, man. Like, Nick is everywhere and nowhere at the same time, just buying people out. It's wild, dude.
How am I supposed to compete with that? What am I supposed to, like,
just a phone call away. That's it. Professor Birch, question for Bierski. New Jersey versus Charlotte Collecticon. Which one was better? Or answer what you disliked about each one. All right, so it's hard. Wonder asked me the night before, like the night when the party was done, how everything was, and dude, that party made the weekend for me.
Yeah,
that was definitely the best part of the weekend, hands down. Other than the dinner, which was awesome. I think that the show for Charlotte was a little lackluster compared to New Jersey. New Jersey was packed. It was a zoo the whole time.
Yeah, which may be unfair to Charlotte because Jersey was just so crazy. You know.
Yeah, and again, like I'm going to say this, New Jersey is smack dab in the middle of all these metropolitan areas. That the 5-hour drive, I'm not going to leave out Connecticut, PK. I'm going to say it. You know, you have Hartford, Connecticut. I mean, New York City, Boston, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Baltimore. Those are just the main big cities. Then, like, you can even go down Richmond. Like, you're not that far. You can get there. So there was a ton of people coming from all over the place. It was wild what they had going. There was like 1,000 tables. I think there was 98 or 99 sections. And there's 10 tables a section. So, like, 1,000 tables. And it was 2-hour wait time to get in. They had to cut it off because of how many people were in the building already. Like the fire marshal wouldn't let any more people in. So it's insane to think of it that way. Also, I'm a little partial to, you know, I threw a party too. I had a fantastic time hanging out with everyone for 2 days. So like, I think all in all, I enjoyed the Jersey show more. But I also had a fantastic time with all the homies in the hobby when we all got together and hung out. And that's really what I'm going for anyway. As much as, you know, walking around and seeing all the cards and purchasing cards and selling cards is fun. All that other stuff is what makes these weekends for me. And that's why I haven't been vending Collecticons. And honestly, like, I like just flying out to them and having a good time with everyone. It's my way of seeing my friends and hanging out, and flights are cheap, and you can always find a roommate in a hotel and have yourself a good weekend.
Yeah, and that's a good thing too, is like, you know, especially with a lot of folks that are so close, and we have the Collecticon Discord. If you want to meet up with somebody and work out a deal and stuff like that, it's like find a roommate or whatever. This hobby's never been as accessible as it is now. Yeah, and it's never been easier to go to a show and have that experience, which once again, if you've never been, you should probably go, because this is peak right now. I don't know if it's gonna go back down, but you know, it's as good as it's ever been right now. So
yeah, it feels good. Like I came home so happy. My wife was just like, you're just smiling, like just explaining the weekend. I was getting goosebumps. Like that's what it does to me. Like that's how I felt all weekend. Like it's just surreal sometimes. Like,
yeah,
you're talking to pillars in the hobby, and then you're talking to your friends. Like it's just, and again, everyone's so inclusive and so happy and welcoming to have you in these conversations. So again, if you haven't been to the show, please get to one.
Yeah.
We got Grimer Collects. Bierski, how was the Wonder Chef Collab dinner? It was great. I watched the lowest of low chef, like eyes closing, driving back from the supermarket and wanting to take a nap, to him instantly being on and in, and the highest of high chefs cooking all this fantastic food. He did 2 roasted tenderloins. He did there was baked chicken. Wonder's wife cooked rice. She put some appetizers together. It was a delicious salmon appetizer with the rice. She also did like bruschetta, like little sticks with drizzle on them. Like everything was done so well. There was so much food. There was mac and cheese. Man, it was just endless. And we didn't finish all the food. Like that night when everyone left, Chef and I were cleaning up all the food with Wonder, and like Wonder's got food for days, man. Like his family is going to eat very well. Also, I do want to say before I forget, so after the first night, like I said, I flew in Saturday. I met Wonder's children. Wonderful, wonderful children, very polite, super nice. When I got back to Wonder's house, in the room I was staying in, there was a note for me, and it was from Wonder's oldest son. And he was like, I hope you had a good day. It was great meeting you. Here's some Pokemon cards. And he literally gave me 3 of the cards from his personal collection.
What?
So yeah, it was like the sweetest thing ever. So we got a Reggie Drago V. We have a Flying Pikachu, and then we have the Melmetal VMAX. And it was like one of the coolest things ever. These will stay in my personal collection forever, little man. I really do appreciate you. I don't know, Wonder, if you watch this and you want to show him this. Thank you so much for being so welcoming to me. You and your brother were awesome. Thank you so much. So like that, it made my night. I was smiling ear to ear. And they also did one for his father too. They did a little note for him too in his like Pokemon room. So thank you so much. It was super cool.
Yeah. Last year I got to meet Wonder and his kids too. So can confirm. Great family, great dude, great kids.
Absolutely. He's a salt of the earth kind of guy. I had never met him in person prior to that, and he opened his home up to me. He allowed me to stay there for free. Like he just said, "Come and stay."
Oh, you stayed there? You stayed?
I stayed with Wonder. Like I stayed at Wonder's. Yeah. So that, I mean, super awesome stuff. Like really, really cool. So I can't thank him enough. Like he made the weekend possible for me. When I did my live with him, when I was on his channel afterwards, he was like, listen, I just want to say, like, you're invited, come out, see what's up. And I talked to my wife the next day and she's like, go. So made it work, went for 2 days, and it was great. So thank you again, Wonder. Thank your wife again for me. I felt so welcome, felt like part of the family. So that's fantastic.
I love that.
Go to Gen Con. Walrus, you hounded me for weeks about it. It was talked about over and over again this weekend from multiple people how you were trying to lure me in. If Gen Con isn't the same time as Charlotte next year, I would love to get to a Gen Con. Listening to what Chef told me, 75,000 people. I know it's a big board game, but like I was talking to Charlie about it. They have the werewolf game where they have like hundreds of people play the werewolf game.
Yep.
And it's like a big thing that they built up out of nowhere. And that's like one of their big events. So like it's cool stuff. It's people in a hobby getting together and having fun, and it's happening all over the place. So I definitely want to see a Gen Con and see what that's about. I never got to go to an E3. I always wanted to go to an E3. Unfortunately, they kind of folded. The closest thing I got to anything like a Gen Con or anything, when I was a store manager at GameStop, we went to Vegas and they had an entire convention center set up just for store managers to go through it. It's like an E3 style thing. Kevin Pereira from Attack the Show did like a panel. There was multiple panels that were going on. So it was pretty cool. So that's the closest I ever got to it. But I would love to go to a place where there were 75,000 sweating nerds going around playing board games and playing Pokemon and doing all that. That would be great.
Yeah, Gen Con's pretty unique. And the way that it has evolved over the years is very unique. It used to be kind of just like a trade show for, game stores and people like me that were in the industry, and it would be like a showcase for like all the Wizards of the Coast and all those companies that build board game stuff. They go and demo stuff, right? But then there's also they have the hardcore gamers that go and literally you have to go on and like buy the tickets to like get in like a an RPG session, or because all these creators will have like RPG sessions that you can go and get like the game ran by the person that created the game, kind of thing, or the people that were in the team that created something. So super unique like experience, right? And like that is what people do. They spend tons of money and spend literally 20, 30, 40 hours on this weekend playing games at Gen Con. And they don't even see the show floor because they're in all these games all the time. So it's really kind of like a mixed bag of just all these different types of nerds all thrown together. You do what you want to do and go see what you want to see and kind of just have a great time. The convention center where it's at, Lucas Oil Stadium, which is where the Colts play, is right there. And they actually, on the floor of where the the grass is, where you go play the game, they put tables out across the entire.
Get out of here! Do they really?
They play board games on the floor of Lucas Oil Stadium. Yes,
that's wild. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very unique, very cool. People can go and hang out in the stands and just like I have food trucks right there next to it too, so you can go just hang out and play games. It's wild. It's
they hooked me in. I got to give it a shot next year. I want to see what's going on because Chef made it sound like it was like he goes. We walked into the Charlotte Convention Center and he goes, "I just want you to imagine like every single room that's here was all Gen Con." And like there was no room to walk, like it was just packed, and it was people, and it was just craziness. So
yeah, it's like in the hallways through these to get to all these places, it's elbow to elbow, nuts to butt, all the way through, trying to get to where you're going. It is a just huge amount. If you have any doubts, like you're alone, you have to be the nerdiest person out there. Go to Gen Con because I guarantee you,
you'll find a nerdier person.
You are in the thick of it, of just the most hardcore of nerds, of just all the things. It's crazy.
Approach me in person. I take it as a threat, and it's on site. Why you gotta be like that, Walrus? So I noticed you. I sent a Chef when I logged into your guys' live on I think Saturday. I was like, everyone's smiling, and Walrus looks like he's about to shank someone, and that's like you're just so serious, my man. You gotta give a little smile here and there, buddy. It would be good for you, I promise.
Let me tell you, Walrus. Don't let him start buying drinks for you because he will.
Oh,
yeah, it's serious.
Yeah, Walrus is great, dude. I actually talked about Walrus this weekend, how he was like he literally led me through my first episode of It's Beer O'Clock. Like I was so nervous and out of sorts with it. Like if you go back, like when I go back and I watched it. Like he literally dictates the pace of that episode because he knew like what he had to do and he did it perfectly. And I'm forever in debt for him for that because he made that first show successful. So thank you, Walrus, for being my first. I will always say it. Thank you. Grimer says Charlotte was mids, but the homie interactions were top tier. NJ with a bigger venue would have been the best Collecticon ever. Yeah, so I think I said this and I was kind of rebuked a little bit by a couple of people doing it in Atlantic City next year, like Collecticon in Atlantic City. But I also heard that like it's hard to do it in Atlantic City. There's not a lot of parking. If you leave the boardwalk area in Atlantic City, you're likely to get stuck up or stabbed or something. There's some spot. It's not that great, but they have all those convention centers, all those hotels. I think for an entertainment standpoint after the shows and stuff, it would be cool. It was just rough that Edison Convention Center was in literally the middle of a, industrial park is essentially what it's in. So it's a little tight, but even if it's there again, I still think there was enough to do in New Brunswick for the nightlife that made it fun enough. And it was still only 15 minutes away. So everyone did get together still, but
yeah, I mean, you got options, right? Like in that area, you can.
And Ubers are a thing, like Ubers are everywhere there. Like literally New Brunswick is Rutgers University. I kept saying that to people. Like there's not a lack of things to do there. It just, maybe they can move the convention to, I don't know if Rutgers University would be open to giving them space at one of their, I know they have huge halls there that they could use. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll change a little bit. But yeah, if the venue was in a better spot or a bigger venue, it would have been. Yeah, I'd like to see. They could probably sell out another 50% of tables next year if they were to do the Jersey show. I think they could sell 1,500 tables there. Like, I really do, which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can't wait to have local shows, LGS soon. Absolutely. Local stores have bonus smells you aren't getting at home, though.
It's true. That's true.
Dude, the Charlotte Collecticon had some smells. I walked in there and it had that smell that we're all thinking about right now. Woof. Let's see. All for vending locally, doing the quarterly show in Orlando on Wednesday. Get experience there for minimal investment, time, and cost. Then step up to Collecticon. Stone, you are, listen, I didn't know you were vending as much. You're crazy with the vending. You're all over the place, man. Good for you. The average card job experience. Went to a game store and the owner spent time talking. It was wild how much he knew and how handsome he was. I know, right?
Isn't that?
It's the strangest thing.
The dream scenario when you go to a game store. Really.
Ray owes me for life. Collecticon was the true meaning of liquidity. I sold, traded everything I brought, and it was great. Everyone in the hobby needs to go to one at some point. Yeah. If you're willing to not have a booth and walk around and try and trade and sell your cards, there is 100% opportunity for that. People are buying and selling and trading there constantly. You do not need a table to have yourself a successful show by any means.
Definitely.
Scan and unscan designation. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I sell tons of Gem Mint Plus, aka PSA 10s. Hold on. What we got going on here? Son of a Merc, what's going on, dude? Happy to have you here. Near Mint standards lately haven't been the best, so maybe he's on to something with the Near Mint Plus. A lot of weird random sales. A lot of players buying singles. Oh boy, 1 hour behind on 2X. I'll see you all at the end, maybe. I'm happy you're here watching, Dan. All right, Stone. Charlotte was a strange blow. I actually sold more Marvel on Sunday than Pokemon. I did much better overall on Sunday. I don't know. Maybe it had to do with my inventory. Yeah, like I said, I went up to him. He was like, I'm just selling all these Marvel cards. It's crazy.
I mean, look, that's why you brought them, right? So I guess that's a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely a win. Had really cool trade Saturday. Gave up 2 base unlimited packs for a complete unlimited base set. Oh, dude, that's awesome. What?
That's crazy.
Like that, dude. Like that's an easy trade to make. I definitely think that's an easy trade to make. Were the unlimited packs weighed? You got to let me know. Dude walked up on Sunday and asked if I was interested in sealed Marvel. Takes out both 99 and 92 sealed boxes, first 2 ever produced. Can't share what I paid, but I'm still celebrating. Yeah, I was there. He had both boxes in hand. He definitely did himself a favor by picking those up for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, Chef ASMR cooking with Pokemon OST in the background.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Chef gonna blow up one day. Man has skills with opportunities at Hob. Absolutely, Chef's killing it. We talked about staying in lanes this weekend too. Sometimes you just have the right thing going on. And I think Chef's in that spot right now where he definitely has the right thing going on. He just needs to find it and go with it. And I definitely think he could do some big things with that cooking / Pokemon channel. All right, I'm going to take a little break from this real quick. I have one more question for you about LGS. So what was the biggest surprise from an LGS standpoint this year? Like, what was the biggest surprise in Pokemon hobby for you, or Magic or anything? What surprised you the most? What was like something out of left field you thought would never happen this year?
Man, a lot of stuff happened. A lot. I mean, this past 8 months of this year felt like there's been 3. It's kind of wild how segmented things are. Let's see. Really surprised with Magic, how well Magic is doing, how I want to say accepted Magic has become, and kind of like it's like a de facto, like, you know, yes, I play Magic, kind of like how, yes, I like Pokemon, you know, it's just like the same kind of thing. Where it's just like, yeah, if you are nerdy, you play D&D, you got that kind of stuff, yeah, you play Magic too. And it's really become, I think we've really seen the fruits of the labor of Hasbro crossing over with Fallout and Assassin's Creed and D&D and all that stuff. I think we're finally seeing, where all that stuff where you're like, I don't know, guys, this ain't Magic. This doesn't feel right. This is different. now we're seeing like, oh, like this makes everybody, it makes all the other sets more popular and have more interest because there's so many more eyes on Magic now. I feel like they've definitely had a successful outcome to all these unique crossovers and things like that. They can keep the Clue partnership that they did for that one standard set. We can cut that out. We don't need to have Clue in Magic, but all these other IPs and all this other stuff. And obviously we have Final Fantasy coming down the pipes next year.
That's going to be so
Marvel cool. Coming down the pipes. Like Nick, actually, like, yes, Marvel is happening. It's just like, all right, how, like, Magic's not going anywhere. And if anybody had any doubt of Magic like losing any steam, I think it has fully cemented itself as like the de facto card game that you play if you're a nerd, if you are in the sphere of stuff that liking the stuff. That yes, you will know and you will learn how to play Magic and you will like it.
Yeah,
it just seems like one more stamp on your nerdy ID card that says yes, I'm a nerd, kind of thing. So Magic turning around and being like cool again. I'll say it. Magic's cool now and like has cool stuff going on. I think that's a big win. Definitely happy to see that. I'm surprised to see that. Welcome, a welcome change to how things have been, for sure.
Good, yeah. So yeah, it was funny. People were pretty much writing the obituary for Magic after the 30th anniversary box.
It was dark, guys. It was really bad.
And that's when I first got in the hobby. Like I remember them saying like the box is going to be $1,000, and Dan's like, I'm buying 3 boxes, and then like everyone was buying boxes, or people were pissed off that people were buying boxes. It was crazy, and it felt like it was Rudy was pretty much, he was banging the drum. The hobby's blowing up. Magic's gonna die. But the sets they have been coming out with, like also having a Fallout set come out, Fallout TV show comes out, like Assassin's Creed's releasing games, like so they're lucky. Literally they're really like hitting their stride, it seems like, and they're Lord of the Rings set, like who doesn't love Lord of the Rings? Like you're literally like that one ring, like how everyone was talking about it. And everyone was talking about it.
I didn't even mention that, but that was definitely like the turning point, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, major news outlets talking about this card, right? And then the absolute best person that could have ever bought it ended up buying it, Post Malone. Like another huge win for like the game in general. Like that dude is like, he loves Magic and is not ashamed of it at all. So also like a huge boon. And he works with Wizards of the Coast and like makes videos with them, and like it's very much like helps the brand like look cool. And
it's the hobbies. I'm happy that's going well for them.
Yes,
the possibilities with how they're doing these series or these IPs through Magic is literally endless. You can do anything as long as you can get rights to it. So, I mean, could you imagine getting Halo like Magic cards?
Shoot. Like,
like what are we talking? Like Halo? Like I don't think you'll ever see Nintendo or anything do anything like that. But I can see Microsoft and Sony, like God of War.
Why not?
Gears of War, like
sure.
what are we talking? Like, and you have like endless like characters and stuff that you can build on. So like that's cool. So I'm happy you said Magic was the biggest surprise for you. That is pretty. And a lot of people in the space don't think about Magic. I don't think about it regularly because Pokemon's my bread and butter. Like I like Pokemon. So a lot of people here are Pokemon, but there are other TCGs out there, and they are cool and they are interesting. And I'm happy that didn't die for people.
I will say it did seem like with all the changes that Pokemon was making, and a One Piece coming out and all the other TCGs coming out, and kind of Magic lost its like leading edge. Everybody used to follow Magic. Whatever Magic did, everybody else did, right? But then for a while it was whatever Pokemon did, whatever Bandai was doing, whatever, all these other games. And I think Magic's kind of, all right, hold my beer. Let me show you guys actually like how you ain't seen nothing yet. So yeah.
That's awesome. We got BB in here. What's going on, Brandon Baker? I'm happy to have you here, my man. Didn't realize there could be so much beauty on the screen at once. Hello, you sexy devils. Thank you so much.
Is Brandon actually like low key the best person in this hobby?
Brandon Baker is a gem. BB was here. He came to Beerski Palooza. He was great. I connected with him big time. We're hugging each other by the end of the weekend. Like, he is just good people. Salt of the earth, man. Like, I'm so happy he's part of our hobby.
I met him at Gen Con. When our van was crapped out in Charlotte, he gave us a ride to the U-Haul. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, no, he's just great. If your cards aren't sold before even the grades pop, you're moving too slowly in today's market.
It's fair.
CNA direct to old school Pokemon.
Maybe at this point, I can just text him and get an offer. Like,
just give him a call. Offer from the floor. It's literally options trading from like the early '80s. You're just calling people up and selling stuff. Cooking with the Pookies. Ran the guy up, walked up to me and asked if I was interested in Steel Marvel. Takes out. Oh, hold on. He did it again. Did he? Oh, he said it twice. Well, Stone, that's awesome, man. I'm happy about those Marvel boxes. That's fire, Stone. Let's see. Gen Con had 75K people in Indiana. That's all I'm saying. Chicago going to be a juicer. Yeah, never saw anything like it. Hold on, let me see. Would never do any Collecticon over Gen Con. It was life-changing. Yeah, that's what Chef said, too. So I'm definitely...
It's a big deal. Like, if you're into RPGs or board games or anything like that at all, like, you are among friends and among the biggest names in that sphere.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out for sure. I had someone come to me with a stack of foreign Blackboardy duels in Edison. Absolutely wild to see.
Wow.
Wonderful children. I like what you did there, BB.
Yeah.
Wonders Kids left 3 cards and took a $20 from Beerski's wallet.
Yeah.
I doubt that, but that would be funny if they did. And if they got away with it, bless them. I think Hotlanta will also rock, but I can't go. Biggest city in the southeast with lots of big company headquarters. The money faucet going to be flowing. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I've been to Atlanta. I went to Atlanta on my honeymoon. We stopped there for one night. I saw a Braves game. It's a nice city. I like it there. Pretty cool downtown atmosphere.
When's it?
That's coming up in, I think it's 2 shows from now. It's after
September 21st.
Yeah, because after Richmond, it's like a break again. It breaks out because then it's that and then Houston and it's over. Pretty sure. And then we're going next year. That's crazy. It's gonna be 2025 soon.
I hate it.
3 Southeast cons in a row feels odd, but I think it could still do well. Buy your Gen Con tickets early and confirm you bought them or else. Oh no. What happened, BB? Did you get screwed out of Gen Con tickets?
Yeah, I was FOMOing and they sold out of tickets. I couldn't go.
Oh.
So I was gonna go one of the days, but
just didn't happen. Yeah. Is Gen Con vendor friendly for Pokemon slabs and cards? So from what Chef said, it's probably less than 1% of Pokemon there. Like he said, there was a couple tables and they were doing their eBay live stuff. But other than that, like it's just board games, man. And like games and stuff. It's very not Pokemon. I would definitely reach out to Chef and try and see what he has to say about that.
Yeah,
or
Gen Con is
Nick or Brad G.
Gen Con it's very like as far as like vendors, it's very the big names in all the nerdy realms. So you're gonna have like the big boys of all the like the board games and stuff. And then as far as like smaller guys, there are a couple places, but you're basically grandfathered in because if you did the show last year, you get first rights afterwards, right?
Oh, okay.
And there are people that'll like sell their spots off if they're not going to like the highest bidder, basically. It's that competitive. So it's one of those where it's just kind of like
once you're in, you're in. You don't ever want to lose it.
Exactly. Yeah.
A question for both of you: what's your favorite or current board games, past or present? I don't play many board games, my man.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not a huge on board games either.
My daughter and I and my wife tried Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. That's really intense. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
We had a starter box. It's still very involved. So we tried that. We play the game Sorry or Trouble here. That's one of our one where you pop the little dice in the middle, you move the pieces around the board that way.
The family board games.
Nice family board game, but it gets the blood going pretty quickly. In our house, it's one of those where like we are at each other when we're playing it. So yeah, I don't know why it's doing that for you, Mason.
I know. I don't know either.
There are some Pokemon vendors. All you get at Collecticon is cakes up Jason Page trying to scam me to buy his shit Sig.
I mean, that is a +1 to Gen Con. No Jason Page.
I'm glad to say that I missed both Jason Page performances. Was there for Yin Yang Twins, but both Jason Page performances I did miss. They have food trucks. Take note, CAC. Yeah, so they were day 1, no security again. Day 2, security. It's maddening to have that happen 2 years in a row. Did the same thing at the Jersey Collecticon. What? Day 1, I walked right in that. No problem. Not a bat. Day 2, they were ripping bags apart. Same thing with Charlotte. Day 1, I walked right in. Day 2, they were searching bags again. So we either need consistency, and it's really, they just don't want people bringing outside food and drinking. Like, that's what they don't want. They were serving beer on the floor this year at Charlotte Collecticon. You could go up and get beers. They weren't there last year, but now there's beer being sold at these events. So,
beer.
You know, pinky's out. if you're there, I got a beer. I looked at everyone, was like, why didn't people tell me there was beer here 4 hours ago? I would have gotten a couple and walked around here and had a much better time.
Damn.
But yeah, meet your nerd twin at Gen Con. Even the convention food smelled good, BB. Yeah, the food at Charlotte Collecticon was not great. I think Dan purchased food for everyone. Day 1, there was burgers for everyone there. I wasn't even vending, and I was offered burgers. So if it wasn't Dan, whoever it was, thank you. If it was Dan, you're a gem, dude, for getting everyone food. Fortunately, my nerd has limits. Gen Con is a whole nother level, it seems. I don't want to be live on eBay. I'm an operations and supplier. I ain't pretty enough to be on camera. That's a lie, Walrus. You're a handsome devil, sir.
Definitely a lie. But
definitely a lie.
I get it as well. It's a high energy, output kind of thing. So I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. But Rusty's didn't look nerdy as fuck at all. They had a huge basketball game. It was like 95 degrees out. I know that. Rusty was handing out TCA gaming shirts to everyone because they were just soaking wet.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Oh yeah, one of those. There's some good video of the basketball games going out. So I'm sure over the next week or two, we're gonna start seeing more stuff. Too pretty through being next to the Foxy Nick would be tough. Walrus also didn't have his Bidoof hat on, which was devastating. Nick bought him a Bidoof hat to wear, and he did not wear it either day. I made sure to call him out 2 times. Maybe next year he'll wear it. Walrus ain't wrong about Page Boy. Cause my table was on the goal line facing that stage. However, Yin Yang Twins had that place pumping.
Well, that's good.
Let's see. Oh, we're getting close to chat. I almost caught up. More vendors doesn't mean more attendees. It's the caliber of vendors that will determine that. Let's see. Trolling told cool stuff for huge vendors there for TCG. I don't think Gen Con is a show you can just get on at this point. Tons of sealed being bought, new TCGs being played.
Yeah, exactly. It's an exhibition show. It's to show things off more so than it is to go and buy stuff.
We got the Mexican hipster in here. What's going on, hipster? What's up, Beerski and Spicy Mayo?
That's right.
The goat. Thought I bought mine, but apparently didn't. Sold out a month before the show. Did not sell it last year, if I remember correctly.
I did not.
Yeah, Chef was telling me about you guys hanging out with the director of Lorcana trade night. Took us out after, brought us drinks, learned many Lorcana secrets. Yeah, there was a lot of secrets. Well, not secrets, but I heard a ton. It's really awesome, like what you guys and how you guys got, treated and just like hooked up with all that cool stuff. Like, it's just so awesome. Yeah. Seeing Nick drop buckets of sweat didn't encourage me to wear the hat. So Mason, we're down at the bottom of chat.
Here we are.
We made it there. I'm gonna check one more thing, make sure I got all the stuff I wanted to ask you about it. What future set are you looking forward to most out of the ones that we know are coming out? Which one do you think is going to be the best one for? I know we got Megas coming out. We have all this crazy stuff happening. What do you think will be the evolving skies of Scarlet and Violet?
I mean, it's really. I have always said, and I don't know why Pokemon ever stopped doing it, because for a long time they were having the gym leaders, the Elite Four members, and having like their Nidoking and their Persian, that kind of stuff. I don't know why they ever stopped doing that. They should have been doing that through the entire generations, because it adds connection to like, the supporter cards are great and it has all the characters on them, but I want to identify like the type, the vibe of these characters, right? And knowing that Cynthia has a Garchomp and that's like her badass Pokemon, like that adds some weight to how cool she is, right? I don't give two shits about who Iono's. I don't know anything about her, so how am I supposed to have connections with her?
Yeah,
the cards help out a lot when they have like, hey, this is their Pokemon from the game. It's kind of a cool thing. I think that is they're talking about doing that. They're just going to be in starter decks in Japan right now, but if they're doing it for starter decks, more than likely they have to come out for English somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So they got to put them in some sort of set. Maybe that's going to be a thing down the road where there's a Team Rocket set and they do like a gym leader, gym heroes challenge kind of same kind of set. I think that's a great idea. I've wanted it for a long time. And then they said it's going to be like tag teams, which is even more crazy, right? So like it's going to be Cynthia's Garchomp and Dragonite. Like that's insane, right? That's going to be crazy. So that is what I'm really interested to see what they do with that. So that's probably the one I'm like most interested in. For
Awesome.
Sure.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's going to be very cool. The tag team S cards coming back with just like that should be interesting, especially since we had that tag team run last year. It's fresh in people's minds still, not completely gone. It'll be interesting to see what happens to even old tag teams again once these new ones come out. So I feel like that's going to spark some interest back into. They might see another run on those. Who knows?
Sure.
Let's just say that Star Wars and Marvel coming to Lorcana soon. Now that is interesting, very cool news. I'd love to see how that's going to play and how that's going to work with. But if that's what's happening, that's pretty damn cool. What are your thoughts on that, Mason?
They got to do something because this next set of Lorcana is already like $10 over wholesale on TCG Player, so like it's losing steam for sure. So
it's so crazy how they hit for so hard so quickly and then they just fall off a cliff, man. Like
I don't get it. Yeah, it's really wild.
Especially when you have like Disney behind you. Like just do what you got to do to make it successful. Unless it was a money grab for them, just grabbing what they could from the market while they could.
Yeah, I mean that's something I think of maybe they don't know what to do next, so they're like, all right, just throw cool stuff at them then and see if that works.
Or they're looking at Magic and seeing what Magic's doing and think they can replicate it because they have all those IPs already.
Sure. I don't know. From everything I hear about Lorcana, gameplay sucks. It's not in a good place. It's toxic. It's toxic to play because it's all the same stuff and it's oppressive in that it shuts down things and makes it not fun to play. So they got to fix that. That's like if you're making a TCG and you want it to hang around and people actually play the game, you got to make it fun. You got to make it engaging, and you got to like add some complexity to it where the same types of cards aren't ran for a year and a half. Shouldn't be a thing. That's very important. So I think they still have a lot of work to do as far as like engineering a cool game for Lorcana.
Yeah, I mean, it must take time to play test and make sure all that stuff is right. And I can't imagine it being easy. Like it's literally, it's a game that there's so many characters and pieces and everything to it that one bad one can destroy the whole thing. And you just have to be very aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Why was Thor crying? I don't know.
I don't even know what that means. Is that,
I don't.
is that a setup to a joke? I don't know what that is.
Let me know what you're talking about. Character and the cards rights to other companies are in play. Wow. So Lorcana, yeah, see, so they are doing something like a Magic thing. That's interesting. Let's see. Lorcana stealing the MTG play with crossovers. Yeah. They need to dial back print numbers a little bit too and have good set identity. They banned the most toxic card in the format though. So that's good, at least, but too late.
Complexity. Yeah, the set complexity of Lorcana is not good at all. It has no identity. There's no like, hey, we're focusing on this. Ursula's Return is like the most it's ever been set up, and it's supposed to be like, oh, cool villains. But it's like, okay, Lorcana or Ravensburger, we see like they have a board game called Villainous, with like they have had the rights for. That's why they got the rights to making the TCG. We get it. You know how to make villains. Cool. Give me more cool shit, please. Like, give me some depth. Give me some mechanics. Make your game fun. Making cool cards that look awesome ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, no, and listen, if you're going after just the collector sphere, that's fine, but that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to build, a player-based community as well. And from what you're saying right now, it's not doing so hot. So that's, like I said, I'm pretty much in the lane with Pokemon. I don't really dabble too far out. I don't do much One Piece. Like, the only One Piece card I have is that one I got from the PSA magazine that had a dent in it. It's just frustrating. But yeah, I pulled it out, looked at it through the plastic. Like, oh, this thing's a 10. Like, look how well centered it is. Put it in the card saver, printed out all the stuff, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna check it out one more time. I pulled it out, and it has like a mechanical pencil lead width. It's probably like a ½ inch long under the One Piece thing. It's so faint, but it's a dent, and it just sucks. And so I opened it up, took it out of the cellophane for no reason, and now it's worth probably half of what it was when it was still in the cellophane. So what can you do? Let's see. Guy talked about shutting down Amazon and cutting the market and selling below MSRP. I bought way too many burgers, but I think I got rid of them all. Dude, they ate the hell out of those burgers, Dan. They were gonzo. Great section, they were gone. Your section, they were gone. Yeah, thank you for doing that for everyone. That was awesome. Classic Dan move.
Some real pillar shit right there.
That's some real pillar shit. Dang, Walrus got the deets from the Crown of Bigwigs. Yeah, man. Listen,
yeah, I would say Walrus is spilling the tea a little bit.
Yeah, I like the tea being spilled. Chef said there were some crazy conversations going on with people from eBay, Lorcana. A lot of things were happening. He said it was the biggest networking thing he's ever been to. And that there was just constant networking going on. So he said, if you want to level up in your hobbies, like Gen Con's something to go to. So I'm interested, definitely interested. We got Checks, NFX, Ola. What's going on, Checks? I think we are about to. Oh no, I am 5 minutes away from being live. What's going on here? I got stupid Instagram stuff popping up. 5 minutes away from being live. We're about to end it, Dan. Down at the bottom of chat, Mason, thank you for being on.
Yeah.
You have any parting words for everyone? Any other last thoughts about the hobby or anything you want to get into before we go?
I mean, you are always a good supporter of this, but once again, reach out to people, go to live stuff. It doesn't have to be something that you just do by yourself, unless that's what you want to do. But there are plenty of other people to sit down and enjoy and are interested in the same exact stuff that you are. So go to local shows, go to local stores, check them out, and try to be a part of the greater in-person part of this hobby, because you'll definitely make some cool friends and learn some cool stuff.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Mason, for being on. Everyone that's watching right now and everyone that's going to watch, I just want to let you know that I will be live with Ponga on Thursday for the next episode of Box Nostalgia. I think we're switching over to a live format for a little bit, trying to try that out. I think live is going to be better for us. Live was better for us last time. I'm feeling the lives. Like, there's something about having engagement in the chats that really bring it together for you. So we're going live a couple times. We do have special guests lined up for the episode after that.
Oh,
So
man.
we're making things happen. So please just keep an eye on that. If you haven't, please like, subscribe. Please go to CNA Gaming. All of his information's down below. Like, subscribe.
Yes.
Get your singles from my man here. He might not have a lot of Shrouded Fable right now, but that's not his fault. That's Pokemon's fault.
I'm trying.
He's trying. He's trying.
I'm looking forward to watching Box Nostalgia and giving my live reactions to your tier lists just being absolutely insane. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's great.
That's right. We didn't even talk about that. Mason might be the biggest hater of the tier list ever.
Y'all just have wild take. I don't hate the tier. I think it's great. I think it's hilarious content. I think it's the engagement is incredible. But y'all just got some wild takes is all. It's great.
Hey, we have fun with it, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So again, thank you everyone. Really appreciate you, and we'll catch you soon. Have a good night all.